So tonight we're going to be making meatballs. So let's go ahead and get started with this easy recipe.
In a bowl of 80-20 ground beef. This should make around 20 meatballs. To our ground meat, we are going to be adding, I have a little bit of fresh oregano and fresh thyme chopped up. I'm also going to add about 1/4 cup of finely chopped purple onion, and this is very finely chopped. You could add green onion, you could omit onion, you could use shallots, whatever it is that you prefer. I'm also going to add some seasonings because we want our meatballs to be very flavorful. So I need some Himalayan salt.
I'm also going to add a few sprinkles of Trader Joe's 21 seasoning salute. And I also want to add some Italian seasoning because I know that we put in a few fresh herbs, but I want to add just a little bit more in powdered form. So now I am going to wash my hands, and I'm going to use clean hands, and I'm going to start grinding this up with my hands.
So our next ingredients are, we need 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, that's the powdered kind in a canister, because this is going to act almost like a breadcrumb. We also need 1 egg. And then a very special step is some heavy whipping cream. I'm going to put in about 1/4 cup. And I do this in my meatloaf as well. It's something that my grandmother always did. And cream adds a richness and a moisture that you really can't get from anything else. So I'm going to then work the rest of this in with my hands once again. And try and make sure everything gets evenly combined. And I'm just going to be using my cookie baller so that I can get even-sized meatballs. And we are going to be putting these meatballs in a skillet, and we're just going to brown the outside, and then we are going to finish them in the oven. And the oven keeps them nice and tender, and of course you don't have to watch them as much as you would if they were in a skillet. But the browning step just gives them that nice rich brownness. If you were just to put the meatballs in the oven, they wouldn't necessarily get brown. So, but it's up to you, okay? And we don't want to bother these too much because the more you leave them alone to sear on the first side, the better it will be when we go to turn them. Okay, I am going to start turning the ones that I put on the outside first because they've been cooking the longest. And I'm just going to be using my tongs. And we're not going to need to do these on all sides, just the top and the bottom, because they will finish fully cooking in the oven.
We have browned them on both sides now. And now I'm going to take our meatballs and I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet. And I have my cookie sheet covered with foil. So I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees. And these are going to go in for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're fully cooked. And we are going to be serving ours over Zoodles, which CJ is going to kindly do for me. He does it so much better than I do. So I ended up with closer to 30 meatballs. But it all depends on how generous you make your meatballs, and as you can see, mine are not even though I used a cookie scoop. Now I'm going to put these meatballs back in our pan, and I'm going to put in some reserved marinara sauce, and then I'm going to serve it over Zoodles and let CJ have a taste. So I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm just going to heat them until our sauce warms up because our meatballs are already warm. We are having keto meatballs. And we are serving ours over Zoodles with mozzarella and Parmesan cheese.